didn't see you there. I'd like to welcome you to The Diamond Detective, where the goal is to read more and worry less. I'm Ainsley, and today I want to share with you the great novels for introduction to Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie is the queen of crime. She is known for the many novels and detectives that she has written and written about, and she's actually the best-selling novelist of all time. She has outsold a lot of our modern ones that we would think would be the bestsellers, such as an author who shouldn't be named that is known for Harry Potter, and she is also only outsold by the Bible and Shakespeare himself. So Agatha Christie is pretty much freaking incredible. Though I do have my problems with her. She is a woman of her time, and she may have said some things or written some things in her novels that people today wouldn't be particularly fond of, such as things you may hear in Death on the Nile. I know I've read some articles about that, and I just wanted to make sure he said that because I didn't want to act like there may not be some problems there, that somebody may not find the writing difficult, but I did pick ones that I find to be generally more accessible for everybody, as well as something that is a great introduction to Agatha Christie instead of ones that were some of her later works. In her later works, you see where she was basically just doing it for the payday really just because her publishers wanted her to do that or felt like she needed to do that, and the fans wanted to see more of Hercule Poirot or just anything from Christie. So I picked some of her earlier work and things that again, a good introduction to Agatha Christie. And I'm going to start with telling you about Ordeal by Innocence. This is a standalone novel by Agatha Christie featuring no recurring characters from any of her other works. And it is about a family who finds that their brother or their son, who has been tried, convicted, and who was executed for killing his adoptive mother, and someone comes to them to tell them that he actually had an alibi for when that happened, and suddenly the case is opened again. I think that if you are a fan of Knives Out or any other book or movie, TV series like that, then Ordeal by Innocence is a book that you would really like. In that same vein, another book that you may really like by her is another standalone featuring no recurring characters, and that is Crooked House. Now, both of these novels are considered one of Agatha Christie's favorites of her own work, and Crooked House follows our narrator who gets into the investigation of the patriarch of the Leonidas family after his fiancée breaks off their engagement and does not want to marry him until everything is solved. This is another book that if you like Knives Out and any other piece of media like that, you would probably really enjoy this book, as you can see where they got the inspiration from. Another great book by Agatha Christie, and the one that introduces us to the little gray cells and the great Belgian detective who has them, The Mysterious Affair at Styles. Now, this is not only Agatha Christie's first book, but this is the first book featuring Hercule Poirot. And I'm absolutely in love, obsessed with Hercule Poirot. He is my favorite literary detective, and this being the book that introduces him just makes this all the more better. It is narrated by Inspector Hastings, who narrates quite a few of the novels in the beginning, and he's the one that introduces us to Poirot, and this is when they meet. And I just think that if you have maybe read one book with Poirot and you want to see more of him, this is a great book for that too, and just a great introduction to her work, as it is the first one she wrote. My personal favorite book by Agatha Christie is the 5th one in the Hercule Poirot series, and that is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. Now, if you were to read this now, you'd probably think, oh, that's been done before. It wouldn't be anything particularly special to you, but thinking of how this really surprised people in the time, and it still really holds up today, I think. I think there's always going to be something now where you can say, oh, this has been done before, but it's really great to go back and to see where things began. And The Murder of Roger Ackroyd is just an incredibly well thought out and dictated mystery. It's great, it's well executed. I love the characters, I love Hercule Poirot in this, and it's my personal favorite, and I think it's a favorite of a lot of fans of Christie. And if you want to get into Agatha Christie or just into the Hercule Poirot mystery, and you don't start with the mysterious Harriet Styles, you can start with The Murder of Roger Ackroyd. It's freaking great. Now, this one I'm going to mention is probably the most well-known mystery by Agatha Christie. There is also a play version of this that I own myself, but I do really like the book because I think it's such a fast read, an easy read, a great introduction for those of you who want to get into classics, and it pretty much just reads like a script or a play, and that is Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None. This book, again, is one of the most favorited, one of the most well-known favorites of Agatha Christie. It has been made into a movie, a play, a mini-series. It's really phenomenal. It really holds up, and I think that this book is probably, alongside Crooked House, is probably one of the greatest inspirations for a lot of modern mysteries and work that has been happening over the past 40 to 50 years. And one of those being the incredible comedy Clue, which I know that you know, and I know that you probably love. So if you've watched that and enjoyed it, you might really like And Then There Were None. Of course, it's nowhere near as funny as that, but if you want to see where she got her stuff, or where that movie got its stuff, And Then There Were None is a good place to go. Now, I'm technically mentioning this one together just because I have it in a dual set that actually belonged to my granddad, and I got it when he passed away, and that is Miss Marple's first case, which is the murder of the murder at the vicarage, and this is the one where the little spinster detective Miss Marple is introduced. And then we have her last case, which is Sleeping Murder. And Sleeping Murder is actually my personal favorite of the Miss Marple cases, and I just think if you want a great introduction to Agatha Christie's work, but especially one to Miss Marple, The Murder at the Vicarage is a really great one to go, and then you can go straight to her last case with Sleeping Murder. It's just my personal favorite, and I really enjoy it. And I think I have this old one in here. I think this is a really great mystery. Agatha Christie's work is some of my favorite for any author, but especially for mystery authors. I think if you are a fan of modern day mysteries and thrillers, it's great to go back to those that inspired them and has inspired a lot of work in the genre, and Agatha Christie is one of those. She's written a lot more books than what I have mentioned today, including short stories featuring both Miss Marple, Hercule Poirot, and some of her lesser known detectives. And I think it would be really great if you want to check them out. She does have short stories or smaller books such as novellas, and those can be The Blue Train, which is something that would go on to, I guess, inspire or just be written into a longer form in The Murder on the Orient Express, and there's some other ones like that you will see in longer form later, so just not to confuse you, these are some of the ones that I really enjoy and I know other people do, and they're great for starters, but there's a lot more work by her out there, and if you have any great recommendations for me of people who you think me as an Agatha Christie fan would love, please comment below. And if you would like to mention your favorite Agatha Christie novel, please let me know. I would like to know, what is your favorite book by Agatha Christie? And who is your favorite mystery novelist outside of Agatha Christie? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more like it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified every single time I post. If you wanna, I would really enjoy that. You can also find me on my social medias and website below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.